and it's not going to sit well with you, but I'm just going to give it worst least favorite.
You're so fucking crazy. Best personal favorite, and it's not even close. It's not even close. I would gladly burn every other album just to save this one. Welcome to Every Album Ever with Mike and Alex, the podcast where we listen to every single album in the world, whether we like it or not. That's a whole new discography per episode, except for big old episodes like this one where the discography is so long that we got to split it up into multiple parts. My name is Michael Mansour, and I'm joined, as always, by my Laker-loving co-host, Alexander Volts. Say hello.
Hello.
And today, we'll be discussing the first half of every album by
Sonic Youth.
Now, one of our most highly requested episodes of all time. This was the second winner of our most recent poll on Patreon. Go to Patreon for cool stuff, bonus episodes, polls, yada, yada, yada. The first winner was King Crimson. Go check out both of those episodes. And then it was Sonic Youth. Sonic Youth was ahead in that poll for like 3 months. And at the very, very end, King Crimson eked it out. But still, I decided to throw in Sonic Youth as well. Now, Alex, do you have any history with this band?
It's a very weird, limited history. For some reason, I don't know why I purchased, is it EVOL or EVOL LP?
EVOL.
Which we'll be talking about. And like, this is where I stopped. I thought it was very cool. And I know they're beloved and pioneers. And I've heard a smattering of songs. But I think this really goes into, like, if you don't have like a core friend group that's really into it, like I don't really talk to anyone that is like over the moon about Sonic Youth or brings up Sonic Youth in conversation, so I didn't feel like an urgency to listen to them.
It's funny you say that because they are like a total friend band. I have a lot of history with this band when I was really young, and it was one of the bands that my brothers, of course, because I learned all my music from my brother and brothers, and it was like Sonic Youth was one of the bands, and when I say one of the bands, I mean Nirvana and all the the stuff, Melvins and Black Flag and Metallica and other stuff that we've covered on the podcast. Sonic Youth was one of those bands. So I got exposed to a ton of stuff, not even close to all the albums, just like a good chunk of albums. And I have such a fondness with my, I don't remember how old I was when I first heard. I think they entered my household when I was 10 or 11, but it really like peaked when I was 12. Like I would watch the VHS Screaming Fields of Sonic Love like every night, which had like a ton of music videos from basically this era. We're covering everything from 1982, 81, 82, all the way to 1992. So first big fat chunk, most of the beloved albums, honestly, like all the beloved albums are in this episode. And aside from one album, which has been on fairly frequent rotation for the past decade or something, I haven't heard these albums since I was 12. And it was a ride.
Yeah. On one hand, I'm like upset I didn't put a more earnest effort to listen to them maybe like 10, 15 years ago, whatever. But on the other, I'm kind of glad I'm listening to it now because this podcast, like we've done deep dives on Husker Du and the Wipers and all these bands that were in my peripheral and I would like listen to and enjoyed, but I didn't really dissect those bands. And those are just like you could name 100 bands with Sonic Youth, and like listening to Sonic Youth, not only can I hear those bands, I can hear everybody they influence. Like I loved Trail of Dead when I was in high school and in my 20s, and I'm so stupid I never checked out Sonic Youth because there's like a direct line between Sonic Youth and Trail of Dead.
as a guy who's literally only heard one
It's
Trailer
so
Dead
funny.
album,
I
the
love that.
last one.
Yeah.
I don't have that frame of reference, but I can appreciate it, and I imagine I'll hear them fairly soon anyway. But so it's safe to say you like the band.
I do. I really enjoy them. If vinyl wasn't $1 million, or if I had money or I would like rush out and buy like 4 of these albums.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's funny. That's funny. 4, because I think before this episode, I was thinking 4 albums as well. That like, four of these albums, 100% 4 of these albums. And going back, because like I said, I hadn't heard them since I was 12. I'm going in with a very clear, non-biased, kind of non-biased, not influenced by my brothers and the fun of being young. Kind of, I guess that sounds depressing, but went in completely like, all right, I can finally just appreciate these albums for what they are. Brother, I don't like them nearly as much as I did when I was a kid.
Wow. Wow.
I think they're a good band. I think some stuff is like devastatingly overrated and very flawed. I think a lot. I mean, who gives a fuck what I think? But a lot of the stuff that I have fond memories of, I still have fond memories of, and I still think like, oh, that's genius. That's brilliant. I love that so much. I'm like, what the fuck's this song? Like, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of what the fuck is that? And other things that I remember being flawless in my head end up still being good, but definitely flawed.
Yeah, it's a very interesting journey. I didn't like dislike any of these albums, and I remember when we did the like Swans dive. I just realized what I said. Like, I think we were like both confused. Like, Sonic Youth and Swans hung out. Like,
yeah,
they were friends, and
they went on the very first tour together.
Yeah,
it was a disaster.
And now I can hear that a little bit with their
with
their earlier works. I can hear how they like hung out, but I think it's cool they both turned into different bands.
They both turned into completely different bands. We all know how I feel about Swans, considering there's now a vinyl behind me, and that we've done a million episodes on them, and we interviewed Michael Giroux. Big Swans, man. I don't really love where Sonic Youth started going. I appreciate where it went because it influenced. It was like a part of a bunch of other stuff that it's part of a style, part of the early '90s kind of indie style that I find very charming. But when what they started as it's like what they started as is so much of like the Swans, and we recently covered This Heat, where it's like this really bleak, really cold. It's experimental, but it's not like full on dicking around for an hour. There's some dicking around for sure, but it's not like just dicking around experimental. It's still very song-like, and it just had its own they were a really unique band, closer to no wave than anything else, I guess. And then when they started going in this sort of indie grungy direction, maybe not even grungy, just more like alt rock. I have mixed feelings. Some of it I love, some of it I don't love. There's 2 albums here that I straight up do not like. I mean borderline hate. I like 2 of these albums, and one of them is going to get me flack. It's a very controversial take. I don't care because I don't get it. I don't know why. Some things the world and I just don't gel with.
Sure,
and
this might be fun.
On this episode, it's going to be one of those. I just don't fucking get the hype. I don't get it. But other stuff I think is so goddamn good. So goddamn good.
There was a point, and I'll save it since it sounds like you have some disparaging remarks, and I don't know where you land. But there was a point in this discography where I felt like, for me and maybe the band, like a switch went off. And I think like someone with your sensibilities could argue that perhaps once that switch went off, they went too far in a different direction. But I do think there is an album where it's like, and I don't know if this is controversial to say, I haven't heard the back half, but I think it's fair to say like this, like it peaked here. Like this is phenomenal. And then like everything before this is different. Everything after this is different.
I'm not going to disagree with that. I'm probably going to disagree with how good it is, because it's just I'm learning that this is just not my band. Despite the fact that there are songs in here that move me borderline to tears. I fucking love some of this stuff, but as a whole, I can probably safely say Sonic Youth is not my band. Man, that's such a weird thing to say about a band. Not only that I grew up with, that I have such fond nostalgic memories as a kid, that I listened to religiously as a kid, that albums that I still love, but considering their discography is so massive and looking at what they did as a whole, I can say like as a whole, not really my band.
Also, I feel like usually like lately this year, maybe even last year, usually like when we walk into these scenarios, more often than lately, I feel like you walk away a bigger fan than me. So I think it's just like due time.
It's about time to have the roles reversed. Yeah. So we got some notes here. This is probably gonna be a very massive episode, but we got some notes here from our boy Tom Osman, who supports us and does some dirt digging for us to go support him. We have a Q&A with Thurston Moore from The Skinny from 2014, a spin interview with Sonic Youth from 1985, and what is this? It's a piece from 2011 called Penny Black Music, EVOL and Sister. There's an interview with Steve Shelley, drummer Steve Shelley, on Daydream Nation from 2019. There's an interview, a second interview by Tiny Mixtapes with Steve Shelley from 2006. So there's a lot of stuff here. There's going to be a lot of, we're going to try to figure out what we're talking about here a little bit.
Also, I want to say, like, it's insane to me that, well, not insane, and I'm glad, like, Ranaldo and Thurston got their, like, props as guitar players, because I feel like usually we think of like shredders, and I feel like those two actually got their like credit. But Steve Shelley is one of the most underrated drummers ever. Like, I used to frequently read Modern Drummer and Drum Magazine, and I don't think once I ever saw them like glaze that guy the way they do like prog rock drummers. They would give it up to like weird drummers occasionally, but I don't think I ever saw like Steve Shelley talked about the way I think he should.
That's a damn shame. He is great. He is great. I even remember as a kid seeing him play it and being perplexed. Maybe I'm misremembering or something, but I remember his toms being like disturbingly flat. Be like, how the fuck is he playing that?
I've seen a few drummers do that, and yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
Maybe I'm misremembering and it was a different drummer or something, but I remember that sticks out to me somehow. But he is very creative, very oftentimes whenever I have a problem with the drums, it's always the production, because I always like what he's doing. Very creative, very interesting drummer, and he's got good chops, and he brings an energy to the band that I think is very needed.
It's a totally different band if he's not in there, I think.
Yeah, and he started out with Bob Burt, which is a funny name, because his last name isn't even Burt. It's like, I don't know, Berticelli. I don't know what it is. Some Italian thing. It's shortened to Burt. So his name is not Robert Burt. That'd be very silly if his name was Burt. But I kind of wish his name was Burt.
Like a fart. Burt.
Hell, yeah, exactly, like a fart. So Tom, our history guide, give us a little preface here. He says, I think we all understand that this episode has the potential to turn to a 4-hour marathon. Yes, it does. For this reason, I will not even attempt any kind of comprehensive history of the band. Included are snippets from various sources. Listeners and viewers can add their own insights and personal stories in the comments. Remember, show the best side of yourself and be like the Ween fans. Don't be like the Red Cross fans. That is how I feel about pretty much all of YouTube. Be like the Ween fans. Don't be like the Red. We love Ween fans. We love Ween. We like Red Cross a lot too, but the fans don't like us.
And yeah, there is at a certain point, there is a Red Cross reference coming up.
Yes, there is. So this piece, this is from the Q&A with Thurston Moore. It's a very quick quote. He says, I was living in New York in late 1976 with some older musicians whom I was playing with. I was looking for a place to call my own, but I didn't find that until late 1977. So I was biding my time in New York City and also living in Connecticut where my mother lived, which is only a half an hour away. I was 18 years old. Thurston also says we used to rehearse at Swan's place in the East Village. Was it the bunker? God
Yes.
damn.
Yeah.
Whereas when you exit the bunker, I forgot which direction is which, but it's like, oh, you go left. It's certain death. You go right, it's cappuccino.
Yeah.
Like that's the area he lived in. So continuing, he says, no windows. It was a windowless cave of 2 rooms, one in which Michael Giroir lived, the other in which the bands rehearsed in. None of us had any money. Mike said at one point, I'm not going to eat anymore. He felt it was an expenditure getting in the way of his true love, creating this music and his art. Having to make money to eat was dragging him down. Laughs uproariously. I would too. We were all the age where there was no sense of what are we going to be doing a decade from now. Whereas now a decade just flies by. The idea of mortality becomes more apparent when you come into your 50s. He's always had a commentary about mortality. You don't say it. Check out our episode, our episodes of Swans and our interview with Michael Giroir. I talked a lot about that kind of stuff. And here's another note from Tom. He says, Sonic Youth predates pretty much any non-mainstream pop rock music for me, so I have lots of history with lots of their music. It was only when I was living in Berlin in 2023, however, that I decided to check out their debut self-titled EP. He says, I know it isn't being covered, but just wanted to mention that it's well worth investigating. I'd probably say it's their most rhythm-centric, Swans-adjacent material. Joke's on you, Tom. We did listen to it, and we're not doing like a main entry on it, but I think we should talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, that's the one with like Burning Spear and I Dream on it.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. It's interesting that he said Swans adjacent because I didn't really get that. There is definitely like some evilness in the album, but like Burning Spear is more like with those familiar of the classic New York funk band ESG. It's like more like dancey. And then the way the tom drums are tuned is really like a choice. They're really interesting.
It is a cool song.
Yeah, particularly on I Don't Want to Push It. The tom tones are just different. And I was, actually I was trying to get ahead of my homework. And so I just thought we were covering, and that's why I listened to it. But very interesting. I'm going to assume there is nothing like this in their discography.
It's an outlier, that's for damn sure. I haven't heard most of the albums that we're going to be covering in part 2, but I doubt there's going to be anything close to this. I remember when I heard this, I don't remember how old it was, or I don't really remember anything about when I heard it. I just remember hearing it for the first time and thinking like, oh, this is, it's Sonic Youth. I could tell it's them, but this is not at all what I was expecting. I really like the EP. You're talking about the Burning Spear. It's very, you said it was dancey. I felt it was very no wavy, which oftentimes ends up being kind of dancey.
Mm-hmm.
Very no wavy. I think I Dream is one of my all-time favorite Sonic Youth songs. It's fantastic. It's creepy and kind of chilling and haunting. It's a really, aside from like the closer, which is the good and the bad, which is a lot of dicking around. This band likes to dick around. They love them some dicking around. And even on my favorite albums, there is so much dicking around that I kind of just have to accept that. Yeah, even for this EP, I'm kind of okay with it. It's not perfect or anything, but it's a type of rough that I quite appreciate.
There's character there for sure.
And I remember when I asked you to listen to it, I mentioned, I said it's like Swan's first EP in the sense that Swan's first EP sounds nothing like Filth. It sounds like this completely separate band, and then we get this. It reminds me of the exact same thing. We get this first EP that sounds like this, and then we get the next album, which is, it really is just like the self-titled Swans EP and Filth, and then this, and then Confusion and Sex. It's crazy. It's really similar. The two bands did come from the same place.
They did, yes.
It really make you hear it only here pretty much. But it is a cool EP. It's definitely worth checking out, and it's pretty brief as well. But as far as the albums go, we're going to be covering all the ones Well, we're going to be covering starting from 1983 all the way to 1992. So that's how many albums total? Is that 8 total? I believe it's 8 total. 8 total, and that includes the Ciccone Youth album. We are covering the Whitey album, so that is in there as well. Even though it was technically under a different band name, it's all the members. We're never going to cover it otherwise. Might as well cover it here.
Yes.
So, are you ready?
I've been ready.
Hell yes. This is 1983's Confusion is Sex and the Kill Your Idols EP. I think one of the greatest noise rock adjacent openers ever. When it comes in. There we go. That is some in a basement, almost dead production. You start to hear the Swans connection with this, for sure. So the main vocal hook, I think, is really the song. It kind of carries the whole song. It's fantastic. She's in a bad mood, but I won't fall for it. I believe all her lies, but I can't fall. So it goes on, it develops, it gets louder, vocals get more intense. But I think a killer opener.
Yeah. Also, with what I'm about to say, big asterisks, because I feel like if I pick the Whitey album, I'm cheating by giving it accolades. And it's not going to sit well with you, but I'm just going to give it worst least favorite.
You're so fucking crazy. Best personal favorite, and it's not even close. It's not even close. I would gladly burn every other album just to save this one. You're so fucking wrong. You're so wrong. It's crazy because the Ciccone Youth album is hot garbage. I'm telling you right now, it's hot garbage. No, and there's another album that is practically garbage. To give this worth is fucking nuts, dude. You're crazy.
I feel like I'm cheating picking that album though.
No. If you're not going to pick Ciccone Youth, then I'm picking another one because I'm going to pick Ciccone Youth as worst because it's fucking horrible. It's a horrible album.
Yes.
It's dog shit. But now I'm going to change it. I'm going to give it to another one that I think is also deserving of a bad accolade because of how fucking good this album is.
I think
it's their only great album, honestly. I'm just picking fights now.
Yeah, no. I think it's more interesting that way. I probably should have talked to you about that before we went live, and I thought about doing it, but then there were delays, so I forgot.
How about let's do this?
Okay.
We don't have to do it, but I'm going to do it. I'm already going to fucking give it away now. It's a total spoiler, but Ciccone Youth is getting worse. I'm going to give something else least favorite because that one is obviously the fucking worst. It's obviously the worst.
It is.
To give this worst is so wrong. It's so wrong. It's a fucking I think it's their only album that's even close to flawless.
I disagree with that statement so much. And I don't think this is a bad album. I'm merely doing it because me personally, I feel like it's cheating and then so I'm like, I just want to give something that's more like pure Sonic Youth, that thing. And I don't think this is a bad album. I just think it's they're on an upward trajectory.
Dude, you could give it to I can name 4 other albums you can give worse to that would be more justified than this one. It's crazy. It's so crazy. The next album could be worse compared to this one.
I don't know.
I mean,
why.
it's crazy.
I don't know.
It's
why.
crazy.
I don't know why I like it better. And
You're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah,
You're out of your mind.
it has nothing to do with the album. It falls squarely into the like, oh well, we're dumb and these are the rules we set up, and I put this other parameter on myself.
Insane. The only person that I know in the world that will agree with me is, of course, Robert, because he's the only guy I know who's like, well, no, there's one other guy also that considers this like almost a masterpiece, or basically a masterpiece.
I think it's a very good album. I like it. Yeah,
it's their only truly creepy, scary, sincerely fucked up album.
Sure,
because it's the only one with no light on it. It sounds like it was recorded in a bunker. It sounds like Pain. It's very Swans adjacent, although not sounding like Swans. It definitely makes you unsettled the way early Swans does, and so it opens with bad mood, and it's this semi-epic kind of really dreary. I don't know, has this brooding feel to it, and following it up with "Protect Me You" is a choice that I would not normally be on board with, because it slows everything. I mean, that opener is not fast.
No,
and then "Protect Me You" slows it way down, gets even more unsettled, gets even more creepy, and that's kind of what sold me early on. I mean, I've loved this. This is the only album that I've kept in rotation for forever. But what sold me super quickly was like, oh, how much they are dedicating this album to being fucked up. Like, no, track 2 is going to be even more fucked up than track 1. We're not speeding anything up. It's going to make you feel really unsettled. And it's one of, I have a lot of mixed feelings, and I'm going to get a lot of hate for what I have to say about Kim as a whole. I used to really like Kim's voice. I used to be a big fan of Kim. I no longer like Kim. I like her on some stuff. I like her on this album. I like her on several other albums. There's one album that I fucking hate her on. I like her on here. She sounds wonderfully lost and hopeless, and it's a really odd track too, but I like it in that spot.
I think it's a good 1-2 punch with "She's in a Bad Mood" and "Protect Me You." I think like Kim and Thurston, both of their journeys as vocalists are like very interesting where they go, and you could argue that with the music entirely, but I think Kim takes the wildest swings, and I just find it charming.
She takes the wildest swings. She also has the least singing ability out of all three.
Yeah, which is fine.
Note to save her life.
Yeah, that's why. And getting ahead of the ball a little bit, once they like started listening to rap music, I would argue she gets like her. I believe her last album, I don't remember if it's this year or last year, it's like a rap album, and it's
good God Almighty.
No, it's so weird. Like, it's not like, it's hard to describe. Like, it's not like, oh, this older white woman is trying to do rap. It's just like, I don't know. In my brain, it makes sense, but that's way into the future technically.
I have a feeling I'll feel very strongly if I heard that album.
Well,
holy shit.
You got a long drive.
I'm going to do myself a favor. And no, I'm not listening to that on my 8-hour drive to visit LA. Oh man. So track 3, it's probably not great. I'll skip tracks when necessary, because this is gonna be a long episode, but there's certain things that are very fascinating about this. Like Freezer Burn and I Want to Be Your Dog, they're smashed into one track. I Want to Be Your Dog, of course, a cover of the Stooges song. Check our episode on the Stooges. And it's a live version of it. All these things have the recipe of what a throwaway track. This doesn't make any sense. It's just filler. The way it comes off reminds me, again, of stuff from Body to Body, Job to Job from Swans, which is my favorite early Swans record, where there's live tracks in there, but the production doesn't sound that much worse than the album because it all sounds like shit. And even better than that, it's like a snippet of the song, and it's really shitty. It's really chaotic. It feels more like Freezer Burn along with that feels like one kind of cohesive piece. It just works for me. Like I like it almost more than the original, because the original is like a song. This doesn't really feel like the song "I Want to Be Your Dog." It feels more like this piece that's with this other really unsettling atmospheric feedbacky thing.
Yeah, no, they use it more like an interlude thing. And then it adds to like the jarring nature of the album, where you're like, man, this really sounds like shit, but it not in a way that would drag other albums down.
Yeah, it's the appeal of it. It's the I'm probably gonna keep referencing This Heat for the rest of my life now. Check out episode on This Heat, where if the production were better, it would take away so much. Like it needs to sound like shit. Shaking Hell is Kim's first like big song, where she like, even though she sings another song that feels like a very big song, a lot of bounce and energy to it, but it's like a weird, I don't know. It's so unusual and off.
Yeah, there's like these like big surf drum fills in it, and then yeah, it's like very interesting, the choices they make on that one.
It's a demented ass song. I like it quite a bit. And Human is like their fast upbeat song. It has actual hooks, except even though it's technically like the lightest, poppiest thing here, it still feels off and kind of sickly and strange.
I think those, I don't know if they're keys, like I think they're appropriately pretty stabby.
Very stabby stuff. And then World Looks Red, another high energy one, great stuff. Fucking Confusion is Next I think is like the weakest song on here of all the main songs.
I think that one's
it's very droney.
Also like stands out, like there's punk elements that stand out, but like the way it starts off is like feels more punk than others.
It is a little bit punky. They dabble with the punk every now and then, and I have mixed feelings about whenever they dabble with punk, because it tends to come out so different every time they try it. It tends to come out very different. But I still dig Confusion is Next. Really big rhythmic, Making the Nature Scene, which kind of meaner. It's more mean than disturbing, whereas a lot of the songs on here are kind of unsettling.
Which they'll circle back to at a certain album for some reason.
Yes, they will, and we'll get to that. The closer for the album is Leah's Free, which is just full on dicking around. Really not for me. You know how I feel about that. But you take it. It's going to be on most albums. Whatever.
Yeah, that one is like, there's like wing chimes, random percussion, or what sounds like those things, and it does kind of feel like a kind of like a shamanic ritual in a way.
Yeah. After that, we got the Kill Your Idols EP, which it has the songs Kill Your Idols, Brother James, Early American, and then a live version of Shaking Hell. I think the original EP had a live version of another song. I forget which one. I could probably find out in just 2 seconds. It was no, it was just Protect Me You. So that explains why they omitted it. It was just the same version of Protect Me You. Anyway, Kill Your Idols rules. Brother James fucking rules. Early American rules. Shaking Hell, we already have it. You don't really need a live version of it. That's kind of unnecessary. I like the EP. I think it's a great addition to the album. Skip the final track if you want. Although I will say with the Shaking Hell live version, there are some barks that are not on the studio version that are very cool and kind of gnarly.
Yeah. Also interesting for a band that loves feedback and noise. Not really known for their screaming, and that's
interesting. Yeah, I didn't think they almost never scream.
It's really rare. So this is one of the albums, even in this era, one of the albums with screaming on it. So
yeah, you can probably count on one hand how many times they like screamed on songs. Yeah, that's interesting.
Because
another reason it's the best. You're right, Alex.
Look, I'm not mad that people. It's just I put these stupid rules on myself, and this is.
I think this is for people with if you're watching this and you've seen this podcast before, you kind of know my taste, or if you look behind me, you know my taste. For people with this kind of taste, for my kind of taste, Robert kind of taste, more fucked up music, this is honestly the only essential Sonic Youth album, because other albums, great albums, good albums, fun albums, amazing songs on the albums, but they don't do any, like, this is so unique. This captures such a little pocket of energy that's like, oh, they don't come back. They do things maybe similar for the next couple albums, but it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel even remotely the same. And the songwriting isn't as strong. Like, these are genuinely good hooks underneath fucking mountain of pain and sadness and scary. It's like it's the most sincerely fucked up album of theirs. It's the most sincerely fucked up record of theirs. Everything else kind of from this point, from the next album onward, they start putting little moments, little glimmers of light and hope. And then as the albums go on, that kind of gets ramped up and intensified until lots of albums are just like you don't really feel too bad listening to the albums. This is the one where you feel bad. If you want to feel bad, listen to this one. It's my best and personal favorite. It's Alex's worst and least favorite because he's fucking crazy. It's fucking Disco Volante by Mr. Bungle all over again. You're crazy, Alex. Oh, this is fucking interesting. I didn't realize this. Tom noted here. The front cover of this album was designed by fucking Raleigh Mosiman of Swans, and engineering assistant John Eskrin, who also worked on Cop.
There you go.
A lot of overlap. But moving on. Are you ready for the next one?
I'm ready.
Hell yes. This is 1985's Bad Moon Rising.
Very upset. This sounds nothing like CCR.
It sounds nothing like CCR. Episode 4. Go check out our episode on CCR from young boys with no video. I put the intro because what the fuck? We got no cleans in the last album. This is a completely jarring left turn.
I like it. It's kind of like shoegaze.
Pre-shoegaze, yeah.
I don't even know. It's pretty, like, it's almost like they grew up side by side with shoegaze a little, maybe.
I thought My Bloody Valentine came later, much later than 85.
Maybe 88. I should know. I did a whole episode about them. I mean...
No, you're kind of... No, well, the thing is, they started around this time, but they didn't get shoegazy until like
88.
Like 89.
Yeah.
89, yeah. No, like 88. Like 88, yeah. And look at this. A happy, hopeful, light riff. Already a different band. At least for this song. And I do believe that Bob Burt is still on this album. I'm going to double check that. Yeah, he's still on this album. I dig these choices.
This part is fucking cool. Like,
very cool.
Like, you get the illusion of double bass a little bit with that.
Yeah. So, before we take another extra hour just listening to music. All right. Bad Moon Rising.
Yeah.
Not CCR, of course.
No.
And I would say a huge letdown compared following the last album. Huge letdown. I was like, what the fuck? I never heard this whole album before. Never heard the entire thing. I have heard songs off this album, but never the whole thing.
See, I'm a quote unquote normal person, and I know what classic Sonic quote unquote classic Sonic Youth sounds like. So it wasn't like that jarring.
It's not that it was jarring. It was like, it felt like they opened with that intro as well as Brave Man Running My Family. And it's like we said, oh, it's pretty now. It's kind of happy. They're moving in a new direction. And then for like the next fucking 4 songs, they're trying to do experimental, noisy, drony, Confusion is Sex style stuff, but with none of the I don't want to say sincerity, but like none of the hooks, at least nothing that made it interesting or grimy. It just felt like it was just so long and boring. Like some of this shit is fucking boring.
I kind of get what you're saying, because like I don't dislike any of this stuff, but again, when I hit a certain point in their discography, I think like, oh, they are like very like masterful in the way they construct songs. And so that knowing that makes this feel like it's they weren't executing at the level we all know they will hit. And I feel like that's an unfair compromise, because they're like or unfair thing to say, because they're like growing as a band. It's like this is a like necessary evil, but I don't exactly consider it like a sophomore slump type situation either. It's just this awkward middle, not even middle thing, because their career's so long, but it's just this awkward thing that I don't find off-putting and I don't love either.
I think it's pretty off-putting. I think it's mostly boring. I think I'm not really offended by too much stuff here. I just found like, why the fuck is Ghost Bitch? Why is this here? There's so much droning back to back. It's like it's an album full of droning. It's like there's very little song, like, and the songs that are song like I Love Her All the Time. I fucking don't like that song. Like it just drags and drags.
Which is interesting because, yeah, it's this. That's one of the songs where I'm like, oh yeah, I can hear how they hung out with Swans.
There's some stuff here that still channels a lot of that primal essence. Another one that does that is I'm Insane, which straight up sounds like something that would be on Confusion is Sex, like a fucking discarded outtake from Confusion is Sex, because it's like, oh, it has like the, you know, the barbarism of something off that album, but Thurston's vocals are just, it sounds like a knockoff Shaking Hell, but with Thurston on vocals instead. It felt like they're already repeating themselves. Like, so that's why I was so confused about this album, because it sets it up like they're moving away, they're taking a step forward, and then we get songs like that where they're just straight up retreading what they already did, but just in a less interesting way. So it's like, are you fucking evolving or not?
I found this to be, and something we skipped over, I found this to be more like Melvin's Lysol, where it's like, it's technically one long song.
How so?
You didn't notice they were all like bleeding into each other?
Well, they all bleed into each other, but they still have distinctness. They still feel like different things.
Sure, but they are connected.
I guess it didn't feel that intentional though. Like, because a lot of you could say that about a lot of their albums, where a lot of the songs are connected and a lot of them bleed over.
But like this,
if Society as a whole, all the way to Justice's Might is one long song, then it's one long song that stinks. that's what I would say.
I don't know. I don't know. There's this part on I'm Insane where like these like church bell samples come in, and I just think it's neat. It's neat sounding.
Well, if you think it's neat sounding, then it's neat sounding. The one exception I will give, and it's not just nostalgia, although it is partially nostalgia. Death Valley 69 is one of my favorite Sonic Youth songs, one of their best songs. And I love Lydia Lunch on here. I find her weird ass vocals to be so uncomfortable that it just makes the song for me.
It's the only high energy song on here, and
it's the only song that kicks ass on the entire album.
I guess it is a highlight and it rules. It does eventually. The only thing it has in common with other songs on here is that it definitely does like kind of devolve in a way. If you want to use that term for, you know, they build these songs up and then they kind of get formless and meander.
Yeah, they meander. They start dicking around a while. Sometimes they reform and come back and then continue and then finish the song together. But I still love the song quite a bit. I think it was like the first video on Screaming Fields of Sonic Love.
Mhm.
So I remember that video like more vividly than many others. More boring ass experimental shit on Satan is boring. I mean, god damn, how many of these songs? There's so many of these songs on this album that do stuff like that.
I like the drumming on that one.
Holy crap! Alex found something to like about the most boring fucking songs in the Sonic Youth catalog. Holy crap!
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, yeah, I can't. Nothing really. I don't know. Like, nothing really bothers me. It sounds like a very young band trying to figure out where they fit in the world.
That is exactly what it is. My problem with that is that they fucking nailed it on the debut, which is why it's so confusing. Like, was that an accident? Like, that's what makes me like question. I've always thought that about Confusion of Sex, because I knew that even though I hadn't heard all these albums, I knew that some of the ones in between were a little rocky, and even the good ones that I liked, I didn't love all the way through. So I was always confused. Like, how was that first one so good, and then they didn't realize what they were doing? Like, they were trying to find themselves again after that. Like, maybe they didn't like that. They really didn't want to continue. But hearing some of this, it's like they clearly still wanted to do that kind of thing. It just feels like a very confused album.
I'm assuming things here, obviously, but I'm going to guess that they didn't dislike that first album, but I think perhaps them as musicians, this had this like yearning inside where maybe they were very good at playing that type of music, but they wanted to do something different.
Well, they're definitely trying it. Also, last note here, the cover of Halloween by Velvet Underground. Hold on a second. Why did I think it was a fucking Velvet Underground cover? It's a Sonic Youth original. I like the Mudhoney version better. It's a cool song. It's a very good song.
Yeah.
I love the drumming choices that Mudhoney did for that one. They're so creative.
I'll have to check that one out.
Also, Mark Arm's voice I like a lot. I like his choice. He did a Mark Arm thing on the cover, but it's a good song. It's a good song. I'll give it for Halloween for sure. And Death Valley 69 is one of the greatest Sonic Youth songs. But other than that, I found this to be a total trip up in the walking journey of Sonic Youth. That was a very stupid, colorful way to say that. But in terms of the background of this, so this piece says, recorded for something less than 4,000 borrowed dollars, Bad Moon Rising was named after the CCR hit, John Fogerty is my life's blood, saith Moore. Okay. And offers an oral portrait of the band that is less single-mindedly violent than its immediate precursors. So this kind of answers a little bit of my questions. By the way, whoever wrote this is very excited to write. Let's just say that. Listen to this. Well, actually, the direction of our material is more or less dictated by our instruments. He forthrightly replies. Forthrightly.
I don't like that.
I don't like that either. After we got back from Europe the last time, we decided, I believe this is Thurston saying this, by the way. After we got back from Europe the last time, we decided we were tired of doing the old set. So we took all the strings off the guitars, threw them around a little bit, put some new strings on them, and hammered them a little so that we had to write all new songs. The tuning on the guitars, once we got through with them, was so different that we killed our old songs. So in other words, you ruined the band.
I disagree so much.
He says, when we wrote a new batch of songs, they turned out to be more subtle. They were a little more laid back, physically more cerebral. And I would say less good. But that's just one man's opinion. Alex doesn't agree. Many of you don't agree. You're probably not even watching anymore. That's cool. But let's move on.
Yes,
you ready?
I'm ready.
Hell yes. This is 1986's EVOL. Yet another totally different sounding thing. It's almost gothy.
It is. Yeah. Not a lot, but yeah. I would say goth, shoegaze adjacent. With the toms and then the clean ass guitars. Vocals not so much, of course. I think I don't know why I bought this. I think someone like described it as their most like psychedelic album, which I don't really consider this a psychedelic album, but I mean, I liked it. So
It's a very straightforward for an opener of theirs. It kind of gets right into it.
I mean, it's their most approachable thing they've done to date.
Yeah, so far for sure. Except for this part. This is pretty cool. All right, so it builds back up, and kind of goes back into that main little hook thing. But not a bad song, not a bad opener.
Yeah, I think this is probably more what they were trying to capture on the last one, because I think this album does have like a very dreamy quality where maybe the songs don't run together, but it is, you can kind of get like lost in like where something begins and something ends if you just have it on in the background. It's a tight 36 minutes.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
I don't like it that much. I mean, I think it's better than Bad Mood Rising. I keep saying Bad Mood Rising because of the fucking Melvins album. It keeps throwing me off. But yeah, I like it more than that one. Definitely. I feel like I was great when I listened to it right after. I feel like I was grading it on a curve. Like I didn't like that one. So I was so disappointed by that one that this one like felt just because it was so different. I was like, all right, definitely. This is a whole new thing. All right, cool. But there are songs that are like, in addition to my powerful nostalgia for it, I actually like it more now than as a kid. Shadow of a Doubt, fucking love it.
Yeah, that one is perhaps the most dreamy, surreal. There's almost parts where I'm like, this could like sounds like a new age song a little bit.
Little new agey. It's in some crazy tuning. It's a very main hook is kind of like guitar harmonics in a weird tuning, but it's really effective. It's probably, I would say, their dreamiest song in this entire episode.
Mm-hmm.
What we're covering here. It's very nice, very pulled off very well. And I only have like problems with a few songs on here, but I would say what I don't like about this album is that the songs I do like, I'm just sort of like, all right, that's cool. I don't love anything else on here except really Shadow of a Doubt.
I think because it's also so short, and I've always viewed this more, maybe due to how short it is, I've just always viewed this more of an album where like the album is strong, but maybe if you were to like isolate these songs, you wouldn't really get a sense of what was going on. But yeah, for some reason, it's the only album on this episode I've heard front to back. They are on SST now, right?
Yep, SST.
Yep.
That's neat. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Star Power. I know grunge isn't a thing yet, but coming from the future in 2025, it is like this blend of grunge and shoegaze. I think like the final minute gives us, because like Mike said, there's a lot of dicking around. I think that is some of the cooler soundscapes.
Also, we got Steve Shelley. Finally, this is his first official album.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the music video for Death by 69, even though he didn't play on the album. But yeah, Star Power, even though grunge really wasn't a thing, it's definitely like, oh, the old style, the Confusion of Sex brutal style is gone. Now they're finally digging around with some alt rock indie stuff. More energy. It's pretty fun. Pretty fun. I don't mind the song at all.
Yeah. There's also Death to Our Friends, which I think is great. They sound really tight on that song. It's it's one of the songs where I'm like, I wish it went 7 minutes, because it's not like they don't stop doing 7-8 minute songs in the future. So
I've had the opposite feel for that one, because I do it kind of feels like this twisted nightmare western with those Rolling Toms. It's a very cool song. I felt that when it starts deteriorating into the noisy stuff, it kind of loses itself and then goes on too long.
Yeah.
I do like the song though.
Yeah. Short for a Sonic Youth song. This album also, I forget exactly what the story is, but on some versions and the streaming versions, there's a song called Madonna, Sean and Me, which is funny because Madonna used to be with Sean Penn. But the song originally is called Expressway to Your Skull. Yeah, I like it. It's more dreamy alternative rock. It gets big, bombastic, very, very easy to this like kind of space out and daydream, kind of a precursor to the sound they would come to embrace. Yeah,
a little bit. It's I can't say I love it being 7 minutes, but it is the most triumphant sounding song. It does kind of give hints of where they're going to go. It is a very majestic sounding thing. I do like it for that, for sure.
And then, yeah, Bubblegum, I'm like, this is wacky. It's kind of fun. The guitars have this odd, like, big arena rock feel to them. And then I was like, oh, it's a cover song.
It's a cover. It's covered by, who the hell is it by? It's probably a band I'm not familiar. Yeah, Kim Fowley. So I'm not familiar. He was 60s musician. But on Bubblegum, as well as in the Kingdom number 19, we got Mike Watt on bass. So that's pretty cool. I don't like either of the songs on this album, but I do like Mike Watt quite a bit. Check out Episode Minuteman from forever ago. I love Mike Watt. He's probably my number one favorite bass player of all time. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of songs that I'm cool with on here, like Secret Girl and Marilyn Moore. Like I like all these songs. I just don't love any of them. I definitely don't like Green Light or In the Kingdom number 19. But yeah, the use of cleans already, because there wasn't a whole lot of that on previous albums, especially the first one. It's already really strong how they're using cleans and how they're using both guitars to create this just sort of ethereal, spacious, you could call it shoegazy kind of thing. It's really nice. I felt the album to be a little bloated with a lot of meandering stuff, and like I said before, one moment that I truly love.
The only podcast in the world where someone will call a 36-minute album bloated.
Yep. And I have said, I contradict myself all the time. I can say a fucking 2-hour album is super duper necessary every goddamn moment. Or this 20 minutes album needs to fucking wrap it up. So for this one, this piece right here says the title, spelling love backwards, was taken from the title of a video made by the visual artist Tony Orsler, who had been hailed earlier by the band's bassist Kim Gordon for poking fun at America's religion of optimism. Helping the band move into more melodic areas was the band's interest in the stars of the day, no doubt helped by the rise of MTV, which the band had been following. MTV, allowed for all these previously detestable mainstream characters to be interesting all of a sudden, said guitarist Lee Ranaldo at the time. We found ourselves listening to and interested in people like Prince, Janet Jackson, and Madonna, and Bruce Springsteen. EVOL effectively marked the band's embrace of pop culture and its ensuing celebrity. Are you fucking serious? This was them going mainstream? This is a sellout album, guys.
They never really go mainstream, although
they do sorta. Yeah.
I don't think there's parts of Sonic Youth songs you can show to people, but there is no such thing as an album you can show to normal people. You can't put on any Sonic Youth album front to back.
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
They will do something to make it off-putting to normal folks.
Even their most accessible stuff, which even like in my memory is like, oh, that's like the super accessible. I'm like, what the fuck was that giant, crazy, nosy dick around? Like every album has something. Like, you're right. Shit. But moving forward, are you ready for the next big jump in musical evolution?
Yes.
Hell yes. This is 1987's Sister. Now, I'm going to do my best not to fucking cry while listening to this song, because I have a lot of words about this song. So I'm going to shut up.
You're so wrong. You're wrong.
No. You're mistaken.
Oh, okay. I get where. Okay, never mind.
Tears of joy, Alex.
Okay. I love what Lee and Thurston are doing on this song.
Everything about this is perfect. The way the drums sound, the way that distorted guitar comes in, perfect.
Also, note how Thurston kind of sounds like a normal person, where later on he'll just sound like Neil Young.
Neil Young, Lou Reed, yeah. I like him. This is my favorite Thurston. Like this. Where it's just some guy singing.
Yes, some
much.
guy. He has the perfect some guy voice.
Yep. This song goes to so many places if we can't get to the whole thing. And to the very end, it goes to so many places, but at least the next section. You get a little taste of the next section. Oh, devastating. Oh, my heart, Alex. My heart.
So, and like this shit right here,
it's too good.
I feel like I've heard so many bands try to replicate this.
You could never replicate. This is too good. I have to lower it because I want to hear the whole song over and over again.
Like, how many Modest Mouse songs sound like that? Not like
I haven't heard nearly enough. I haven't heard enough, but I believe you.
Yeah.
So that song Schizophrenia, I think might literally be one of my favorite songs of all time.
Hell yeah.
I think it's perfect front to back. The way it grows is masterful. Everything about it is just chilling and heartbreaking beauty. It's perfect.
I love it. Yeah. I love that opener. I was like, is that a one-off? And then Catholic Block comes on and it hits me so hard. And I don't know. I don't know what it was. Like, it's only 2 songs in, but I was like, oh, this is going to be way different than
way different.
Yeah, I was not expecting this album to it didn't like move me to tears, but it moved me. I found it very like man, this like it's summer, your heart breaks or something, and it's just like, yeah, I don't know. It is like heartbreaking and dreamy and a little bit whimsical, and it's just, yeah, I would immediately buy this album, no questions asked.
This is one of the 4 really good Sonic Youth. Yeah, one of the 4 big ones. And man, that opener takes me way back. Classic Block, man, what a great main riff to that one. It's such an interesting hook, and the way they play is so not straightforward. The way they play, and this is what they'll do with everything. Where they, I don't love how it happens every time, but I do appreciate that they often make the choice to have at least one instrument just fucking not playing ball with what's happening. Yeah. Like it'll just be going against the harmony. It'll just be playing a wrong note right in the middle of it. And it instead of it doesn't feel like someone's playing it wrong. It makes it something else. It makes it this third thing. Like these 2 instruments are playing the right thing. This guy's playing a wrong note, but it creates it. Now it just feels kind of lost and kind of scared instead of sad or happy or whatever. Like it just creates different feelings for me by not playing it. Catholic Block is a perfect example of that, where it has this energetic main riff, but the bass is hanging on one note and it doesn't really feel like it's playing along with it. And it just feels a little bit darker.
Yeah. It does feel like those quote unquote wrong notes are very like deliberate. I'm sure, there was some dicking around and maybe just stumbling across it, but they do come across as meaningful.
Yeah. Oftentimes it does feel like a choice, or maybe it probably came from improvising and then they just decided to stick with it. It feels like a lot of this came from improv. I don't know exactly how they write, but for some other songs here, I mean, most songs on here are very good. I have a few problems with a couple, but it's more like like I don't love the cover, the crime cover, Hot Wire My Heart, just because it doesn't fit in. It's not even bad song. It's just a 70s punk song. It just feels like it just doesn't really match with everything else here. It feels like a cover, whereas
yeah, it's kind of similar to Bubblegum. Like you can hear the like big like stadium rock riffs in there.
It doesn't. What my problem with their covers and overall, and the reason why I ended up liking "I Want to Be Your Dog" from the first album was because that's the exception. Most of their covers feel like, oh, this is someone else's song. Obviously, like the way the it's usually the choice of song. Like that song, "Hot Wire My Heart," does not sound like Sonic Youth could have written that song. It doesn't sound like anything. Like it doesn't fit in at all. So it just sticks. Even if like they did something crazy with it, just like the foundation of it is like it's clearly a 70s punk song. But I also I don't hate Cotton Crown, but it does lose me after a while.
There's something about that with the melodies that they're singing that feels very like childlike. Not that they sound like children, but it feels like a very simple, like if you just asked a kid to make up a song on the spot, that's like the melody they would pick.
Yes, it's very cheery, and that's very childlike and cheery.
Yeah, and I like that with the like guitar feedback and these like snare rolls, and then once we actually do get like a more normal-esque riff, it just feels like it feels great.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. What are some of the highlights? I mean, everything else here is quite good. Is this the first time we get Lee on vocals on Pipeline Kill Time? Is that the first time we get him singing?
I was not keeping track of
It's the first time I noted it, but I don't know if it's the first time that he actually did. Maybe he did previous albums and I missed it, or forgot, but it is very noticeable when he's singing. He's my least favorite, even though I had problems with Kim. He's the one where it's like, he just, I know Thurston's singing voice sounds a lot like his speaking voice, but Lee's singing voice really sounds like he's just a guy talking. He really sounds like a guy talking.
I feel like people talking is like part of Sonic Youth though.
Mostly. Yeah.
Like I think Beauty Lies in the Eye is a good example of like how much they've changed, where it's like they've always had spoken word parts. They probably always will. But like that is clearly so different than anything else on the previous albums.
Yeah, it has a lot of acoustics in there. Much moodier, no drums, and it's got Kim doing spoken word stuff. It's nice. It's nice. And then we get more energy on Stereo Sanctity. Fun main riff, screeching ass guitars. I really, I mean, so we didn't even touch upon Thurston and Lee's, I'm assuming, massive pedal boards, because they like to dabble with the effects, and man, there's plenty of people that can get lost in the sauce when it comes to effects and go overboard, and then just who gives a fuck what they're even playing because they're too focused on the effects. I mean, a bum riff is a bum riff no matter how many fucking pedals you put it through. They're the way they get tone is so cool. Their sounds are top to bottom fucking great. There's a lot of you feel a lot of stuff from the sounds they're able to create. But that Stereo Sanctity also has good guitar lines, great effects, good tone, good guitar lines. And by the end of it, it's just, I dig it quite a bit.
Yeah. They are, yeah. The way it's assembled is just like, for the year, when did it come out again? My bad.
87, I believe.
Like 87 to do something like this. Like, obviously, they're hanging out with weirdos at SST. They're hanging out with swans but like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you like. Husker Du? I said it right.
Husker, yes, you did.
Yeah,
Husker
maybe
Du,
like me.
87, they were already breaking up. I think.
Yeah. So,
and they kind of, my opinion, stunk by the end of it. That last album I didn't like very much.
Sure, but classic. I think you can hear a lot of classic.
Yeah, Zen Arcade. Good, yeah, the good stuff, of course. But it's a good album. White Cross is a is the original closer, the version on streaming, and the CD bonus track. The closer is Master Dick, which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
The drum beat is really fucking cool, and it's like, was this the album? That's like the first Master Dick is like their first, like the first time they're like flirting with hip hop a little bit.
And sampling it, it's sampling, I mean, the most obnoxious Kiss samples. Like, I don't like the song. It just kind of annoys. It's funny, but it is pretty annoying and too long. But yeah, they're dabbling with the sampling and clearly some hip hop influence. But
also, we've quoted him a lot because he is like on every artist's Wikipedia page. That music,
Howie Weinberg.
Oh well, I was gonna get to him eventually. I was gonna say music critic Robert.
Oh, Christgau, that fucking cock.
He was like feuding with the band.
Are you serious?
He was like getting into arguments with the and like fucking Barry.
Are you serious?
I swear.
I can't stand that guy. I am back on Team Sonic Youth. Fuck Robert Christgau. You know what? Any problems I have with the band, water under the bridge.
I know very
we
little.
unite in our shared hatred of that guy.
I know very little about him, but yeah, in doing some light research, I saw he was like get over like some feuds are acceptable when you're, you know, maybe taking a stand, but like you're feuding with these people who haven't done it, like, get over yourself.
I have such nasty feelings toward that guy. There's something, having never seen him speak, only read his words and seen his photo. There's something that he relays through his words that you just want to hit him. There's something about him. I don't know what it is. He's so sure of himself and that he's right about. Like, we may be assholes talking shit about music, but we don't think we're right. You know, we don't think because you can't be right about an opinion.
Yeah.
He thinks he's right. I know that motherfucker does.
Yeah. It also may be like what, I mean, that guy's in his 80s. It should be water under the bridge now. You never know though. You never know. Maybe.
But yeah, it's, I would say like their first big step of an album, their best one since the debut. And, man, it's a whole new thing. It's a whole new thing. Now they've shown that they can get real goddamn beautiful. They can do some real melodic stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I was not expecting to be so moved by I thought this was just a random album, but it's great.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good one. As for the background of this piece says violence also a dominant theme in Sister, which also mixed in trash cultural references from the past found on EVOL. Also formed part of the band's next album, recorded almost a year later, Sister. It also mixed in references to pulp science fiction, in particular the cyberpunks William Gibson and Philip K. Dick, 60s acid rock, and the more obscure aspects of 70s punk. I didn't grow up as a science fiction reader at all, Moore told Fogue. I don't know how to pronounce that, but there you go. But what hooked him was reading Dick's Radio Free Album, which had been posthumously released in 1986. To Moore was really great reading, a book that was written as pop science fiction and yet had characters and incidents that were routine, and then getting caught up in these philosophical experiences. I wasn't expecting so much literature to be associated with this album.
Yeah, not this one. I'm actually like surprised to hear like the sci-fi influence. I would have never expected that.
Never expected sci-fi. No. But are you ready to move on?
Hell yeah.
Big one coming up. This is 1988, Daydream Nation. If there were ever a quintessential Sonic Youth riff, this is probably it.
Yeah, this is it. And, you know, it wasn't played necessarily on like mainstream radio, but the fact that it was played on any radio stations is like like the way we're at with pop music, it's like insane this was on the radio to me.
But
despite its craziness, it is a really accessible ass song. I mean, it is 7 minutes, but listen to it. I mean, this is really hard not to just enjoy a little bit.
In a perfect world, the radio would be kind of weird, but
yeah. It does. You gotta wait for that break, because this is not the song. I mean, it is very much a very lengthy intro. Great riff. Great riff. This is fucking Sonic Youth is shit. Better production too.
oh, this is an insanely expensive album.
Oh, I want to know the backstory. Oh yeah, Enigma. Yeah.
Thurston said it was not an Econo album, which I thought was.
Ha ha ha.
Time to get it before you let it get to you.
All right. So we gotta keep a move on.
Yeah. These big albums, I have heard like a handful of these songs, but I have never heard like the album in its entirety. And it's always like, is it overrated? Am I gonna feel and this one, I was like, the hype is real. I really think this is one of the greatest albums ever. I get it. This is best personal favorite. I'm like, I can't wait to have free time and just like listen to this album like for fun.
The fact that you're so excited about it is delightful. I think it's overrated as shit. I don't even care. I don't even care.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go hard with how much I think, like, what the fuck? Why does it? No. Because it is a good album. I do like the album. I do enjoy it. I think it's one of the big four. Now I'm calling it the big four.
Yeah.
I like how much you like it. Keep going.
Yeah. Just, it's a double album, although I guess on CD it's just one album. But yeah, start to finish, I never felt bored. I felt captivated. I just wanted to know more about the band after this. It does everything, we talk about like fan maker albums, and I totally get why this is like a fan maker. Maybe, not for everyone, because like I said, I'm like kind of angry I wasn't listening to this in my teens and in my 20s. But now, as a 38-year-old, I've like developed this musical vocabulary and background, and I know all these fucking great bands, and it just feels like, it is a cliched thing to say, but this album does feel completely timeless to me.
It does. Yeah, keep going.
Like, it was released 88, but I was under the assumption, because I just heard these songs independently, I thought these were like 90s songs to speak on like the timeliness of it. And I don't think it sounds any like more out of date now than when it was released.
It definitely has a timeless quality to it that I didn't really appreciate as much before too. Because you can definitely point to, it's like, oh, that's a super 90s thing, but this was before that style really existed. Or at least before it really kind of developed. And not only that, it has like the really anthemic, really catchy stuff like Teenage Riot, of course, but then it still has dicking around, it still has the chaos, it still has the nuttiness, but it also still has some other interesting experimental stuff. Like, one that really shouldn't even, it's an interlude, but it's an interlude that I fucking love, is Providence. it's the white noise, old sounding piano thing with voicemails by Mike Watt on it.
Yes. Yeah. It's a very, it's a perfect interlude. Like I said, there was no point here where I was like, oh, is this album almost over? Or so, yeah, even something like Providence, it works in the context of the album.
Works a lot.
And the main thing I forgot was I feel like they invented like alternative rock jamming. Like when we talk about like jamming, it's usually, in the realm of like psychedelia. It's like this very specific thing, or maybe if you're a sick fuck, you think of like Grateful Dead and Fish. And then here they've like developed their own, well, at the time, like their own form of jamming, and like reading, like it was a very expensive album to make, but also they were kind of efficient about it because the amount of like jamming and working on songs they did before they went into the studio was like insane, according to like Henry Rollins, who would like sit in on the jam sessions. He was like, people love that album, but he's like, I heard some like phenomenal shit that this didn't make it.
Wow. And this is not a short album by any means.
No,
this is definitely so the stuff in here that I felt, I was just like, why did this make, like, it's not even that they're bad songs. It's just like, is it necessary? And I'm going to get stabbed for saying that, but like, Eric's Trip, it's not terrible, but I found it just like, is that necessary for track 5 that early in the album? Like, that doesn't feel like it for this big epic album with these really moving songs. Eric's Trip just ain't doing it for me, especially at track 5.
I get what you're saying. It does go by quickly, especially because the Sprawl and Cross the Breeze are so epic. And then Eric's Trip, this kind of goes by quickly. I think you could make an argument of like, maybe just put like an interlude there instead. Like, I get it. It is to like give you some breathing room.
It's definitely a breathing room song. It just didn't. It was too much of a song. That's oddly enough, that's my problem with it. Because the Sprawl is, man, it's an epic. It's fucking great. It goes to so many. I mean, it's like 8 minutes long, but it goes to so many interesting places. After every verse and chorus, it kind of does something different each time. Works really well. And then Cross the Breeze was one that I'm crossed, like I'm at a cross with, because the fast 1-2 punk beat, it's left field. It wasn't expecting them to do that. I like the whole song. I feel like the fucking production on those drums for that 1-2 beat is so not right. It feels not right. Like the drum beat's fine. The song is great. The production on the drums on that beat feels wrong. It feels like wimpy and like it wasn't made for that.
I do wonder how they ended up with this producer, Nick Sansaro or Sano.
Sansano, yeah.
And maybe there's a backstory I didn't see, but yeah, he was mostly like a hip hop producer. So maybe like some of those things you're talking about were due to that. He didn't really work with a live band before.
Interesting. I wonder if we might have some snippets mentioning that, but that is very interesting. Yeah, there's so many fucking songs in here. I'm a little rough with Total Trash because of how long it is. I do like where it goes, but man, it goes on a while for me.
Yeah, I think it is kind of cool. Like when you can hear who they were hanging out with, like the Swans stuff on the first album, and then like here you're like, oh, you can tell they were hanging out with Jay Mascis and vice versa for Dino Jr.
For sure.
Yeah, I do like how unhinged the guitar playing gets hit, or like the noise and dicking around stuff on here feels like really earned to me. Like it feels like I wasn't expecting to be blown away by their technical prowess. I just thought like, oh, they're these noisy band that kind of has some like dreamy riffs, and I wasn't expecting to be blown away by their technical prowess. But I listened to something like The Sprawl, and I'm like, that would be like kind of difficult to learn how to play as a band.
Yeah. They are good. They play fucked up and messy, but that's what they want to do. It's not like they suck, you know. But a lot of the choices, I kind of don't even know. It's like, is it production? Is it how much of this was an accident? I think of that with a lot of bass lines. A lot of bass lines that Kim does end up being she does a lot of sliding and like non-notes. It's like, did she just like wing it and that like wing it during rehearsals, or not rehearsal, but you know, whatever, when they're writing and hashing it out, improvising, and then like, oh, that's weird, keep that instead of doing something with the melody. It ends up working most of the time because it's just so unusual. The times where I don't like it, because what I don't like about the production here, and we don't even get it rectified for another couple albums at least. Bass, there's no bottom. There's like on all these albums, there's like no bottom. And I don't know if they're trying to bury her or not. I don't know if they just want to emphasize the clanginess of guitars more, but there's no heaviness. There's no punch. There's no like oomph, which Sonic Youth isn't like a heavy band. You're not really trying to do that. But for songs like Rain King, it's just like, why doesn't that have more bottom? Do you want a song like that it feels like it's supposed to, especially with those rolling toms, like that's a song that definitely has some bottom.
Yeah. I wonder how much that has to do with the producer choice. And then I did read that the album was rushed because the European label set like the release date too soon. So yeah, I think like I totally get what you're saying about the production, but I think that like to me the songwriting is so fucking strong. And I looked up video of them playing Silver Rocket from this era, and like it felt better than the album, which I feel like is a crazy thing to say about a beloved album. But that like live video, after I listened to this and then looked up that live video, that like helps solidify my like love of the band, where I'm like, they are like about that. They are really tight players. I'm
gonna yes and that, because when I fell in love with the song Schizophrenia, it was because of a live version, and that live version was incredible.
Yeah.
It was from the same fucking Screaming Fields of Sonic Love. That's where I first heard it.
Okay.
You hear guitar lines clearer on that live version than you do on the album. And so I totally get, they were the real deal live for sure. Candle, one of the greatest, one of my favorites, one of their best. What an ingenious, unique guitar line. That I mean, it's so, you can't place a mood to it. It's just something. It's something otherworldly.
Yeah, it's a Sonic Youth. That's a great example of it starts off like a normal song, and you can kind of show normal people initially, but it does get kind of unhinged.
It gets unhinged, but boy, is it one of the best.
And I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
So great. And then Kissability, also another one that I completely forgot about. Didn't even remember hearing it before, but
and like
rules.
Shelley's like fast, like 16th note playing on this album is fucking insane. Like I saw there were like a few tours or like few instances where they would play this thing in its entirety, and I'm like, man, that seems like a task.
Yeah, the drums on Kissability are fantastic. He's so creative. He's so interesting. I honestly do feel like the song is a little bit uneven, but the good sections, like the more haunted sounding sections, are so fucking great. I mean, they're so great. It's a fun little kind of like, I wouldn't call any song on here like a hidden gem, but it does feel like it's easy to overlook it because following it, we get the trilogy.
And yeah, I do get what you're saying, especially because I think like the first, like the front, or I'll just say disc 1 is so, it feels so iconic. Like that's where all the like big songs are, and like the more epic sounding songs, I guess.
Although the trilogy is quite epic on its own. It's separated into 3 tracks, and they're very distinct. They're 3 different songs, but they're all kind of under one umbrella. The first they bleed into each other and all that.
Yeah. Wonder starts off very punk. I saw it was called Trilogy, so it's like I'm pretty at this point in the album, I'm really excited to see what kind of journey they take us on. But yeah, they just end up doing those signature like Sonic Youth alternative rock riffs
for sure. Hyperstation, the second
man
of that one is like that's basically the title track. It's lengthy and epic. There's a lot of meandering moments, but they all work. It all feels so. I have so many mixed feelings about the way they meander and they dick around, but that's one where it's like that all works. That all needs to go there.
Yeah, there's like some darker guitar riffs on there that are just like amazing. I know it is kind of like a meandering song, so that sounds weird to say, but those are like some of my favorite riffs there.
Good ass riffs. The closer, Eliminator Jr., is more punk with
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. Completely punk. It's got Kim on here. This is the beginning of this whole album is actually the beginning where I start to not like Kim. I don't like her on this album so much. Her choices and the way she's just like, I don't know if it's just the way she's mixed, but it's more annoying than before.
She also didn't like the way she was mixed on this album.
Yeah, so I'm not super crazy then.
Although I do think Teenage Riot is her best traditionally singing's like voice. That's like the best she sounds, I think. So
I'm not going to disagree, but I do have a different song that I would pick where I think we'll get to it when we get to it.
Yeah,
but I don't mind that. But yeah, I don't mind the Eliminator Jr. either. It's a fun little closer. But yeah, I think it's a good album. I think it's an obvious evolution. It's a soul ass record. I think there's a lot of fat on here. I think it's a little overrated. I don't love it the way I did when I was a kid. I don't love it the way most people love it, but I'm very glad that you love it and that it turned you on to this band.
This is probably the album I will like fast track buying and like gleeful. Like it feels so like weird. Like, yeah, this is like ideally an album you listen to in your 20s, right? And better late than never.
Tweens.
Yeah. Well, everything's tweens for you. You don't count.
I guess it is such a. I mean, not just because the band's called Sonic Youth, but it does. Man, we're so fucking old, dude. Because I get this image of like, oh yeah, you're late high school, maybe early college age, and you're listening to all these bands. And it's like, wait a minute, this is fucking 1990. Like I wasn't even born yet, and like we're relics thinking about like, oh, this is what young people would be into. It's fucking not anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to know what the kids are listening to these days. Sometimes I do have this thing where like I'm like, are we like if I hear another fucking classic rock song in a movie, I'm like, are we like forcing this on generations at this point? Like,
how are they not? I mean, how many times do you have to hear Back in Black? I mean, Jesus Christ.
Dude, like, for reference, imagine like watching a movie in the like 90s and they're like trying to force something from like the 1950s. Like,
having
context,
it like in like a David Lynch context is like, oh, fine. But if it's like with this fucking trailer or this big moment where the guy comes out, like it's not gonna land. It's not gonna land. You keep putting on fucking Johnny Be Good. Stop it.
Dude, yeah. But that's a different conversation.
Yeah. Anyway, as for some of the lore here, this piece says during the recording of Daydream Nation, Ranaldo reportedly demanded that his guitar was always in the red, and hammering noise into shape was their engineer Nick Sansano's specialty. After working on Public Enemy's Bomb Squad Sonic Assault collages, Shelley recalls a quote, super interesting time for music, even if we didn't seem to fit in anywhere. Apart from sharing a noise rock ethos with Pixies, who released Surfer Rosa a few months earlier. Hell yeah. goes on and says, we were curious about the rock energy of Guns N' Roses, but we knew that wasn't our place to be, he recalls. At the same time, hip hop was really happening in the States and it was super exciting, but we knew we weren't going to become a hip hop band like the Beastie Boys, but we kind of found our place among it all. I was asked earlier today, did I know we were combining all these musics together, but it was just all filtered through the four of us. Sonic Youth signed to major label Geffen after Daydream Nation around the time when, quote, labels promised everything. He admits that they were concerned. We spent a lot of time talking to them. He credits Geffen with giving them a recording budget and not asking questions. He says they never asked for demos. They let us go and do our thing. We were lucky that there was always someone at the label who just said, hey, that's what you do with Sonic Youth. They weren't going to be able to shape us. We were pretty stubborn, and also we were a little bit older than a lot of the other bands being signed at the time. No one wants to have a couple of terrible years on a major, and we were lucky. We came through it okay. That's another thing. It's so easy looking back, old bands, 90s bands, to lump in Sonic Youth with grunge and Nirvana and all this stuff. Like, they were way before. They were way before.
They at this point in their career, and for the rest of the albums we're going to talk about on this episode, they're so masterful at wearing so many different hats and ebbing and flowing out of these different things that I think I just started taking it for granted a little bit.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, they really did go through. I mean, because there's a whole second part of this episode that we have to do, and they keep going. They keep doing different shit. Even if I don't love everything they do, you can't help but respect it and be grateful that someone was out there doing it. But we have a couple more. Are you ready for this technically non-canon album, but still canon enough? You ready?
Like you said, yeah. When else are we? Yeah, we got to talk about it. So yeah.
Yep. This is 1989's As Ciccone Youth, the Whitey Album.
I don't know why I'm even putting on the track one of this. I certainly can't put on track two, by the way, and it's because I'll just tell you guys right now, it's silence. It's called Silence, and it's silent.
You should just put on Macbeth.
That's track 5. I'm not skipping to track 5. That's not a good sign. When you get into an album, you have to skip fucking 4 tracks to get to the first song.
I guess that is misleading because Macbeth is one of the best things about this album.
It is I suppose so. I wonder why they didn't put this out as Sonic Youth.
I'm glad it exists. It's technically a super group.
Yeah, in a way.
If someone
it has
wanted
contributions.
If someone wanted to call it one of the worst super group albums ever, I would not really argue with that.
You can't argue with that. That's the one time you'd be factually incorrect to argue with.
But also,
I can't. This song doesn't do anything else. It does that.
So that's fucking terrible.
But also, Damn Yankees exists, and I would probably listen to this over Damn Yankees. So
I don't know Damn Yankees. Would I hate them? It sounds like I'd hate them.
Look up who's in that band right now.
I am curious. All right. Oh, the Nuge. Oh, nice, dude. The fucking Nuge. I probably wouldn't like it. I'm not a huge Nuge fan, but I actually do hate the song Catch Crowds for You. I've always hated that song. But the Whitey Album. So this is obviously the worst and worst, least favorite, whatever. I mean, this is, if we're gonna count this in the episode, this is obviously the worst. I mean, it's so
agreed.
Obviously the worst.
Yes.
If you're gonna give Confusion and Sex is worst, then I'm gonna give something else worst.
Okay.
But this is obviously the worst.
Yeah, it just feels.
I love the sentiment behind it, but I hate the album.
Yeah, this is like Mike Watt after like D Boon, sorry. Passed away, and moving out to the East Coast and hooking up with Sonic Youth, and there's some story like they were all obsessed with Madonna or something. I was like, at this point, I'm
the
tired.
Madonna thing. The Madonna thing. So Ciccone Youth, it's a reference to I learned that Madonna's real last name is Ciccone.
That's weird.
Yeah, she was heavily associated with no wave with the no wave scene. She was like in one of these
no idea.
fucking crazy. It's crazy. And there was rumors that she dated Michael Gira. It's not confirmed, but
that's
like
right.
it's
We
like,
have talked about that.
Yeah. So she was like involved in a New York crazy music scene before she became an evil blood sucking Goliath of a person. I've heard horrific stories from people we know about how awful she is in real life. Like, I mean, you've never encountered a more cold, evil person in life than Madonna. Scary, like scary.
Money changes things.
Money, power, everyone giving you exactly what you want. The second you have it, turns you into a fucking psycho, man. It's scary.
I will say when our friend John was working at the Welter, he was wearing, I didn't even see what it was at first, but like, I was like, man, that's a cool ass shirt. And then I realized it was a Madonna shirt. He's like, that's why I fucking wear it.
Exactly. By the way, he's the one who told me he saw it. He saw it firsthand. Everyone people that I also know that worked at the Wiltern. I mean, like, because you hear stories about like celebrities being like standoffish and mean and rude, but like she's the only one where her story is like, oh, that's pure evil. Like she's pure evil. Yeah, and that's why this album stinks. That's not why this album stinks. So that's where the connection came from, because you know, Madonna, New York, and No Wave. So there are, I think, 2 Madonna covers on here. There's Burning Up and Into the Groovy. And it's Into the Groove is the song. Into the Groovy is this version. But overall, this was like, Mike Watt was really having trouble continuing making music after the death of D. Boone. And I think like they encouraged him to just make something. And I think what he came up with was Burning Up, the cover of Burning Up.
Yep.
So on Burning Up on here is just all Mike Watt. He's doing everything. Yep. It's awful. It's funny, but it's fucking, I can't say I enjoy it as a song. It's fun.
It did make me check out the original song, which I guess is now I'm going to assume a lower tier Madonna song, but the actual song fucking rules.
I'm not surprised. I mean, despite the fact that Madonna's put out some of the worst music imaginable, some quality pop songs as well, like a good number of good pop songs. She definitely earned her stripes there.
I've only heard, the hits.
Some of the hits are pretty good too. Some of the hits are pretty good.
They're pretty fucking good.
Yeah, for sure. But so the reason why this album is not good is everything else. It's an album of dicking around, but it feels like not even really thought out dicking around. For example, track 2, like I said before, is literally called Silence, and it's just nothing. It can go fuck itself right in its ass. Fuck that song. Come on. You're just literally wasting our time. And here is where we get a lot of the hip hop. There's a lot of drum machines on here. There's a lot of really, really corny, bad things on here that I think I don't ever want to hear again.
Like Hendrix Crosby?
Like Me and Jill, Hendrix Crosby. It blows and it goes on and it goes on and it goes on. A lot of these things go on and on and on. The one that I've heard, I'm surprised I didn't remember Macbeth because it's on that same compilation, but I remember way too much this horrible sort of cover of Addicted to Love. It's just, I've always hated it. I hate it even more now. It's complete trash.
Yeah.
It's just Kim droning without hitting any notes over the song Addicted to Love. The song is playing and she's just basically karaokeing over it, and it's so fucking annoying.
The music they're using sounds more like 80s infomercial music than...
Yeah.
Although Addicted to Love is a cheesy ass song already, so whatever.
It wasn't working from the get-go, let alone a novelty gonna sing over. And it's not even like funny, like it's just Kim doing what Kim usually does, just over a song that stinks to begin with. So I'm not sure what the intention was.
Funny, the lyrics on G-Force are fucking funny though.
G-Force, remind me.
It's like the third track. And
I remember it's track 3.
And
it has
Kim's
big
like,
drum samples.
Like one of the things she says is like, she's like, "Do you want to fuck me? No, bring me all your food." Like,
okay, that is funny. Yeah, that's for sure funny. Yeah,
I think there were other funny things in there, but not really of note.
There is so much drum machine and ambience combo on this album. It does it on G-Force, does it on the next track, Platoon 2, and that one at least has like some cool echoey guitars that come in, but it ends up just falling into experimental chaos, and then it's over. And then most of these songs do that. Yeah,
the Red Cross crossover on Two Cool Rock Chicks Listening to Noi. They bring up Red Cross.
Yeah, they're talking. I mean, it's the conversation is fucking stupid, but like in the conversation, they're like, Red Cross would be like a great band to manage. Like they just want, they just want to rock out. They'll be like, oh, what do we do? Like you just tell me what to do, and they'll do it. Yeah, Red Cross is really fun and lighthearted, and they just go with the flow, and they've been doing well.
They're so fun. Kurt Cobain allegedly was off-put by how much fun they were having.
That's right. Yeah, he said was it on their most recent album?
Newest album.
The newest album. There's a song that's referencing it. Yeah, he saw them and said that they were looked like they were having too much fun, which is a hilarious thing to say about a band. Like, oh yeah, you want them to look like they're fucking suffering up there. Yeah, sure. But the second half of that one, it goes into like these big ass funk samples, which are like it's kind of interesting. I mean, it's still annoying and not great, but it's I found it to be a little bit more interesting than some of the other songs. The only thing that I'm just okay with on a base level is Children of Satan, Third Fig.
That is the closest thing to sounding like a Sonic Youth song.
Yeah, it has these synths on the intro, and then it goes into this really interesting beat with hand claps, and then the droning Sonic Youth guitars come in. Very rare on this album, but they're good guitar lines, and it doesn't overstay its welcome either. It kind of goes in and gets in and gets out. Whereas everything else is fucking, man, either goes on way too long, does nothing, or does literally nothing. Like Silence, it does literally nothing. It's just baffling. And the most offensive thing, you hinted at it at the very beginning. They do their version of Making the Nature Sing with Kim rapping over a drum machine, and it stinks. It's way to ruin a fucking great song. I cannot with this. I cannot.
Also, way too short. Shout out to Tough Titty Rap.
That's Thurston rapping over. Was that an 808 or something?
It sounds really, like Run DMC type rap. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty goddamn corny.
I think we broke a Guinness Book World Record for longest conversation about the Whitey album.
We have to because it's fucking it's insane. Like everything here misses. Macbeth has like some good moments, but fuck does it drag, man. It drags so long. Like I've seen that goddamn Screamfields of Sonic Love so many times, and I still don't remember that song. It was on there, and I still don't remember it.
It sounds like Primus.
If Primus stunk, yes.
According to Primus, they do. Well, they suck, but
they do. Primus does say that they suck, but we all know they don't. I don't even mind the cover of Into the Groove. It's not even a terrible cover.
I did want to listen to the actual Into the Groove after.
Yeah. It's not bad. It's a pretty cool song. What are we gonna do? This is an obvious worst. I mean, just we're covering it because
what else?
We're being thorough. But as for
did we say J Mascis was on this album?
I don't even think we did. J Mascis is on this album.
Yeah.
He's on Two Cool Rock Chicks Listening to Noi. It doesn't say he's on anything else. The same with Mike White. It doesn't say he's on anything else, but I don't know how if they're on other parts of it. I really don't know.
Yeah, how it was divvied up.
Yeah, but okay. So this is the interview with Steve Shelley, and the interviewer asked, The Whitey album just got reissued, and that album reminds me of just how much Sonic Youth seems to be obsessed, preoccupied, and so on with pop culture, and not necessarily in this way where you guys are out to subvert it or outright embrace it either. It's always this really interesting. This is a fucking long question. It's always this really interesting line that your music has towed. To what extent do you feel like you and your bandmates embrace the myth and fantasy of being a rock band, and to what extent have you rejected it? And Steve said, that's a tough one. We're very much into the classic. We're big fans of all the great groups that happened before or after us. And I think there's something really magical when a band is good or when they play together well or have worked together well. But also we came from indie rock, and we also realized that rock and roll is a pretty silly thing. And it's a pretty silly job for grown men, maybe not for women so much, but for grown men to be jumping around on stage and acting like they're 16 years old in their bedroom with the air guitar. So I guess we've just been sort of aware of both sides of that rock is a force to be reckoned with, and not to take it too seriously. I don't know why it's not silly for women, but it is for men. I think it's equally silly for everyone. It really is, especially when you get old, despite the fact that I hope to still be making music when I'm 80. It is ridiculous to see Neil Young fucking rocking out hardcore, and he looks like death. I remember it was one Christmas many years ago where my family, my dad and all them, they're old boomers, old hippies. And my uncle put on, like this more recent live thing with I think it was Crazy Horse, and Neil Young was with him, Neil Young and Crazy Horse. And my grandma was just shitting all over. It's like, look at this old idiot. Look how he's an old man. Look what he's doing. He's trying to act like he's young. And my uncle was like, that's my hero, man. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? That's why
I have heard a snippet of Neil Young live this year, and it's bad.
Is it now?
It's bad. It's horrendous.
He's so old.
I never thought I could see anything worse than Deep Purple live.
Oh,
but
Jesus Christ. Is it that much worse? It's worse than Deep Purple?
It was no, Deep Purple's still the king, but like
snotted.
Yeah, like I like Neil Young's, music, but just hang it up, brother.
Yeah, or like when you get older, because he got older, but he didn't really his music didn't age in a way with him. It just sort of was always Neil Young, where, not to keep referencing fucking Swans, but like he's old. Michael Jarrett's old now, but he's old with the music is aging with him. Kind of like the music is changing with the age. Or another random one, fucking Iggy Pop. Like his voice, he changes his vocal style as he gets older. He sings. He's not trying to be, even though he's still trying to move around and be crazy like he was when he's young. His singing style is not trying to recreate young Iggy Pop, which I think is important.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like, I like old man Iggy Pop. Man, I thought did he do this with Thurston? In 2010, Neil Young did like a noise rock album called Le Noise.
Le Noise?
Fucking funny. But I remember listening to that album quite a bit, and arguably not acting his age, but I thought it was, at the time I thought it was kind of cool. I haven't listened to, like, you talking about it like jarred my memory. I think it's just, it's just him on guitar and vocals. There's like nothing else going on there.
Interesting. It reminds me of another out of left field nailing it noise rock thing, Grinder Man, when Nick Cave spun off and grabbed a guitar.
Man. That
nailed it.
Who can,
he can do it. Also, I know fucking the silence track is referencing John Cage. Fuck John Cage too, because that shit is annoying. The silence track, I'm not into the silence track shit. John Cage is, I think I've heard only one other John Cage thing, and it was more of music, and it was better than his fucking 314 whatever the hell his silence song is. But anyway, yeah, this is really not it. This is not it, and it's not even really canon that much. So, if you like dicking around, you like some jokey bullshit, you want to hear Thurston and Kim rap, I guess you go to this one.
Although you can hear Kim rap fairly regularly, it sounds like. So
It's almost like she's always rapping in a way. She's definitely not singing. But we got a couple more left. Are you ready?
I'm so ready for this stuff.
Yes, to end, I know. This, everybody, this is 1990s, the Geffen debut, I think. 1990s Goo.
I forgot another lengthy intro.
This is the song where like Thurston becomes Neil Young.
Oh yeah, he's just Neil Young, Lou Reed. But what a cool little guitar line.
So fucking cool.
One of the greatest riffs.
Just throw a shaker on a song and you're good.
Yep.
Here we go to another candlelight road. All the girls they're playing on a jelly roll. Time to take a ride.
So you're saying Neil Young? There's also a thing that he's doing on this song. He does it worse on the next album, but he's still doing it now. He's doing Iggy Pop's Whisper Yell. And
I think you're more right about the pop thing. Or maybe there were this parts where I like wanted to hear it, but yeah, I think you're more correct actually.
I've never heard anybody else do the Whisper Yell except Iggy Pop, so it's really hard to to separate that. But goddamn, that riff rules. That's a great intro opener right there.
Yeah. I know this is like a beloved album, but yeah, it's just Daydream Nation's a really, really tough act to follow. And maybe some like time off would have done that, but they're like here like the year after, and there is some really good stuff on here though.
Man, we just do not see eye to eye with this band at all. I think this is their second best album. Yeah. This, and I don't think it's a perfect album. I don't think it's a classic the way a lot of, I wouldn't put it with like the classics of the early 90s, but I think it's one of the most consistent. It's pretty succinct. It's not super short, but it feels succinct. I think the songwriting is some of the strongest and some of their best songs on here. And it also, this is the album where I remember it being like, oh, this is like their major label clean rock album, but it still gets fucking dirty. Like it still has a lot of dig. So it has kind of like, it has the best of both worlds. It doesn't have like the dreaminess of a Daydream Nation or that, the sister Daydream Nation kind of era. This is way more of, we're going to the 90s. We're becoming more indie rock and grunge adjacent. But the goddamn hooks are there. Tunic, Song for Karen. It's clangy, dissonant guitars, but it feels a lot more chilling. It doesn't feel noisy. It's a great, and plus with our chorus, such a great chorus.
Yeah, and there are like these like groovy parts where you can like bob your head to it. And yeah, it's just crazy that in this short amount of time, I think that's like one of those songs where it's like they have like mastered that alternative jamming sound.
Yeah, the jamming that's not full of hard rock and solos or blues or it's noisier sort of sonic youth jamming. It's when it works, it's fun. That's what I'll say about that. So the obvious one of the album, I think, is Cool Thing. It's the obvious song. I think it's one of the greatest 90s songs ever. I think it's Kim's best song. I think she sounds better on this song than any other song. Everything just works with that song. That's
so interesting because I do like Cool Thing, and I agree with you that it's like one of the, like it defies like the time. I forgot Chuck D was on that track.
Oh, is that Chuck D? Of course. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that is Chuck D. But yeah, it was during that song where I was like, oh, she's kind of not good at this.
Singing? Yeah. She's not good at singing.
Yeah.
She's actually very bad. I never thought about it. I never considered it. I never even cared. And until hearing these albums, I was like, wait a minute, she's lousy. Like, she has a cool smoky sort of tone to her voice.
Mhm.
She has a cool sounding voice, but it really depends on what she's doing. If it's enjoyable to me. On songs like that where it's really subtle, it's really slight, there's not a lot of heavy lifting, I think it sounds great.
Yeah. I totally get why that song was a single. It is indeed cool.
It is a cool thing. Hell yeah. I'm surprised how much I like Moat too. That's I think it might be my favorite Lee Ranaldo song.
Yeah, that was probably their most like Husker Du like song, I would say. Like I was just thinking about Husker Du a lot during that.
I didn't think about
song.
that, but that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like blending these alt rock sensibilities with some, jamming stuff and bringing in these like noise elements. It is like no one really does Zen arcade worship, but I guess Sonic Youth does.
In their own way.
In their own way, yes.
So yeah, when you say Husker Du, I never know what to call it because I always just think of like, oh, emotional indie riff, but that is kind of Husker Du.
That is like what they. Yeah, I don't know. I can't exactly like pinpoint what it was about where I'm like they are like in my brain like the like almost like the children. I know they happened like a year after they broke up, but they are almost like the children of Husker Du.
In a way, yeah. Which is funny because Husker Du started out as this straight up hardcore punk band and then went into this pretty dynamic, crazy thing, psychedelic thing, and then interesting band. Check out our episode on Husker Du from forever ago. So on first listen of this time, my nostalgia for My Friend Goo made me accept it. On second listen, I was like, I just can't take it. I just can't take it. I fucking hate Kim on that song. It's so annoying. My Friend Goo just says PU. Really, you have to yell that in my ear over and over again? Fucking goddamn.
I mean, some of their songs are very like lighthearted and jokey. The lyrics, even like Silver Rocket, like they do like Silver Rocket in my pocket, like
But that song didn't feel as dorky as corny as that one though, and it wasn't as like obnoxious. And I still think it has good riffs in it too, which is even more confusing.
I mean, it's called My Friend Goo. Yeah, it is this like fuzzy riot girl song in a way.
Yeah, so that kind of stuff is now a part of the band. It's not so bad on this album, I don't think. Because Kim is still kind of reined in for the most part. She's like the most outlandish on My Friend Goo for sure. But even then, she's just sort of like talking loudly. We wouldn't even call it yelling. And it's a goofy kind of. It's almost charming in a way because really there are some good riffs in it, like in the song, like legitimately cool riffs. It's just a very goofy song. But some of this other stuff. With some great guitar work on Disappear, which like the first half kind of rough for me, but as it goes on, like around the middle point onward, just such nice guitar work, really turns it around.
That was the song where I was like, I feel like I'm like taking them for granted a little bit because the sound is so iconic, not just through them, but through other bands. And I was this kind of like, it's okay. And then much like you, it did win me over. And I like had to pump the brakes a little bit, like just pause the music and like reassert myself.
Yeah, it's a thing with a lot of the songs, some stuff on here for sure, where it takes a minute to kind of to settle in. Like the songs don't start out amazing. And you just kind of got to... it requires a little bit of patience, even though this is one of the more straightforward albums. But I also do like Mildred Pierce. Where
oh man, yeah,
it's like straightforward. It's kind of a little bit kind of an angrier song. It's pretty straightforward, simple, and then at the end, these fucking insane distorted screams come in. Like, I'm here really jarring.
Yeah. not too much brutal stuff in this discography, so I'm here for that, and I wasn't expecting it on the album with Cool Thing on it.
Definitely wasn't expecting that. It's so strange how I hear them like, oh, nice. Whereas I bet the intention was to be like shocking and to like, oh, but it was like, oh, nice. Yeah, finally.
Yeah. I love the playing on Titanium Exposed. I like when they like dip into these like bouncy, frantic riffs, because it does feel more like a treat when they do it. And then it does eventually like ease into their sound for a little bit, but then around like the 420 mark, it picks up and it gets fast again. It's a very cool constructed song.
Yeah, it's a great closer. It ends with like over a minute of feedback, but it that's like the only downside, but it's not even a downside. It's a good song. It's great that, like you're saying, that main riff really does have a lot of fun in it. It feels great. Dig that one a lot. Cinderella's Biggest Score is another great one. Just such intricate guitar interplay. It just feels awesome.
I was gonna say Cinderella's another song where like I felt spoiled, and like when I re-listened to it, I'm like, it does have this like epic feel to it. Actually,
it has range. It goes places. Especially at the final 2 minutes. It takes a while to get there, but man, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. This is the first album out of all these albums, probably because it has a budget. I mean, the other albums had budgets, but it's on a massive major label. The bottom is there. The bottom end is there. They feel full and heavy. They're not a heavy band, but it doesn't mean the songs have to feel flimsy. So like these songs just they pack more punch. They feel more satisfying and full, even though they're not exactly as they're not as maybe jam packed as songs on other albums.
Yeah, this cost 5 times the amount as Daydream Nation, which is insane because I thought,
what the fuck?
Yeah.
How much did this cost?
Is that 15,000 US at the time?
15,000
US at the time.
15,000. So at the time, I mean, we're going to pretty round to like 30 grand or something. That's probably a very loose rounding, but that's really not that much compared to like high budget albums that we've talked about with other bands that like go into like hundreds of grand.
Yeah. Like, so Daydream Nation, they paid like $1,000 a day for studio time. And it says that's about $2,659 in 2024.
Okay.
And they did it for like 6 or 3 weeks.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So
that's a fucking lot.
Yeah. Crazy.
That's a lot. It's a lot for any album, which makes me think of the ones that went to the hundreds of thousands, like how unbelievably egregious and unnecessary those albums were to cost that much.
Yeah.
When you think like, oh, $100,000 for an album? No fucking thanks. Even if they are good, but whatever. Yeah. I think this is easily one of the best. I would put this number 2 under the first album for me. But even then, I still think it's just fun. I don't think it's a revolutionary or like the greatest thing ever. That's just kind of how I feel about the band. I just think it's a solid album. It
is fun. I was listening to it thinking you might hate it. So
yeah, the hooks are undeniable. When there's good hooks, there's good hooks. What can you do? Like Madonna, what can you do?
Just like Madonna.
This is from Thurston Moore on Reported Conflicts with Geffen. He says, there was always this hope that we would have records that would push us into the REM world or even the Nirvana world. And all these bands were coming in the wake of Nirvana, like Stone Temple Pilots and Fish. But at that time, there was a realization, certainly for me, that the interesting work was being done in the margins of that. The early recordings of Pavement, Sebadoh, Rail Trucks, all that for me was the culture and music that I feel more inspired by and attuned to, rather than what was happening with a commodification of grunge rock, much to the displeasure of our record label and our management. Why don't you do more hard rock tunes and become the performing act you can become in that respect? He says, we didn't have an articulate decision about like, we must be true to the avant-garde area. That wasn't a decision. That was a genuine feeling. That was where we thought we were, especially that first Royal Trucks record. I felt that was the coolest record of that year. It was reckless. It had a casual vision and sense of danger to it. It was completely experimental and it rocked. Much more so than any record Red Hot Chili Peppers had that year or whatever. Gonna have to agree with them there.
Shots fired. I've never heard of Royal Trucks in my life. Really? But I am going to listen to them now.
I'm a big fan of Pavement. I think I only heard one Sebado album, but I loved the Sebado album. It's Lou Barlow, I think, from Johnson Jr., his band. And Royal Trucks, I've never heard them, but I've always known their name. They've always been around. I'm sure my brothers listened to them. Maybe I probably heard them, overheard them, or just didn't put it together. This is a little note from Tom. He says, I can't remember where I read this, but I think it was a Nirvana biography, but I remember Nirvana played with Sonic Youth, maybe a tour, possibly Sonic Youth supporting. And apparently there was some kerfuffle over members of Sonic Youth having left some offensive notes to record exec types in the Nirvana dressing room. Also, I vividly remember the advice reportedly given from Thurston Moore to Kurt Cobain about working with a major label. And he quotes, or like a paraphrase quote, "If you're going to fuck a pig, you have to expect to get some shit on your dick." Hashtag wisdom.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, there's some little friction there for sure. But we have one more, last one of this era. I know you're ready for this.
I think my eyes are like burnt. Some inside baseball. We're recording this in the wee hours.
It's late. And I have work tomorrow. I have a massive deadline for my day job. I have some traveling to prepare for.
Not like just for this podcast, but just like throughout the day. I think I unintentionally like burnt my eyeballs out on screens, so I'm fucking ready.
Yeah, I think you should start implementing some of that night light on your PC. I do it every time. Full blast, maximum, and I put the red. The night shift on iPhones. That's dog shit. I go into the settings and I change the color to make it all red and remove all blue and green. So my phone is pure red. My screens are right now no, because I have to read. Sure, but as soon as I'm done, everything's red. Everything's red.
Yeah, show me your ways when you. When you get
it helps you fall asleep either. It kind of mellows you out during nighttime. Anyway, last album. This is 1990. Was it 1992's Dirty?
More Iggy Pop vocals.
I love how this is like cool and sleazy.
It is definitely the sleaziest thing they've ever done.
But now that you've been shot dead, I got a new surprise. I've been waiting for you just to say this Arctic chick is mine.
It's like Sonic Youth doing hard rock. I'm not really into it, honestly.
I don't know. I dig it, but I forget what the fuck. It was like recently you were talking about like 90s sounds. Some band used like 90s drums, and I was like, I'm for it.
Oh, the 90s drum beat.
And we kind of like established, like
the Enigma dancey 90s drum beat.
Yeah. I know this is a totally different animal, but I think that like my brain has like a comfort with anything that's like very 90s
sounding.
Yeah.
Well, worst least favorite. If it's not the Whitey album, this is one. I don't fucking know what the world is smoking to think this album is like all these perfect scores in one of the greatest albums ever and one of Sonic Youth. What the fuck are you talking about? This is one of the most overrated albums I've ever heard.
I don't know if I'd give it a perfect score, but I would.
There's so much dog shit on here. I'm so confused. I'm gonna get so much hate. I don't care. I'm not playing ball with this one. I'm not playing ball with this one.
I think it's my second or third favorite album.
You're
from
high. Dude, first of all, there's already so much disconnect if you're like on board with that song 100%. That's the name of the song.
100%.
If you're on board with that song out the gate, because it just feels like a fucking Iggy Pop knockoff. Not just the vocals, just like the song itself. So already there's this lack of like, all right, what are they doing now? Because you don't get any idea from that song.
They're doing everything. They're doing
everything. Yes, they are. And so much of it is fucking baffling. But the worst thing of all, I now officially loathe Kim Gordon. I think her on this album is one of the most abysmal, grating, annoying, fucking unbearable thing. She's so much worse than Courtney Love on this album. And I don't like Courtney Love. That's 200% on a whole. I hate that fucking snarly, angry, tough girl thing because it just sounds like Courtney Love. I can't stand Courtney Love. I just can't do it. I can't do it. She fucking stinks. I can't do it.
Orange Rolls, Angels Spit. Love it.
Orange Rolls, it was Angel Spit.
Love it. Love it.
It would have been a great song if she didn't shit all over the whole thing. It's all over it.
Her vocals are so crazy and nasty. I think it's like
try-hardy. They're try-hardy.
No,
it's so fucking forced. Shut the fuck up. Oh my, I have like no tolerance. I'm so over it. Dude, on first listen, I was like, you know what? That song, I'm giving it a generous pass because of all the fucking cool, bitter, noisy things the song does. After writing that, this is my notes. I take it back. I can't. She just sucks so much. I couldn't even get through one listen of it. Like, she just ruined every song that she's on here. You know what? Take that back. She doesn't ruin On the Strip. I do like On the Strip.
She's bringing like some nasty, like consistently bringing some nastiness to this album. Like Drunken Butterfly. This like
she sounds like ass. She fucking ass. She is ass.
I don't.
So corny. It's so corny.
I don't care. It's a very specific time for this album.
Exactly. That's exactly why I think it hit so much. It was at the fucking, because really there are songs, and let's just not even talk about Kim's vocals because she's not on every song here. Let's talk about just some of the other songs, like Youth Against Fascism fucking stinks. I mean,
you're so wrong. That's one of the best songs.
Bland, average, fucking dude. Like, take the riffs. They're so forgettable. This stinks. What the fuck is up with this? Stalker fucking blows. What is Stalker?
No.
Oh my god. JC, come on, dude.
No. Youth Against Fascism is one of their best fucking songs.
Oh, you're fucking dude. I have always found a way to see where you're coming from, and all our years doing this, you're out of your fucking gourd, dude. You're out of your tree thinking, what?
I don't care, because that's a beloved fucking song. I don't care.
Beloved and fucking boring. Oh my god.
It's fucking not, like. And then, like, what else were you talking about? Yeah. Stalker, like, I'm not gonna defend the way I am, like, Youth Against Fascism, but like, I think Stalker's cool because if you like shined it up, it could be like a ZZ Top or like a Kiss song.
Iggy Pop knockoff. That's the worst. That's the worst with Thurston copying the way Iggy Pop sings. That's the worst of it on the. It does
have Stooges vibes for sure.
Yes, it sure does.
Yeah, you brought up On the Strip earlier, which I like. I think it is odd placement though, because I am like amped up after Youth Against Fascism and Nick Fit, which I'm sure you know about the Untouchables. I fucking don't.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I didn't have to look this up because I'm a fucking nerd. It's Nick Fit is an Untouchables cover. Untouchables was Alec Mackay's band before we started the Faith. Check out episode on Faith.
Shit.
Faith and Void.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I kind of do. So yeah, I'm just kind of amped up, but I do think that does, like, the way it starts off, I'm like, damn, is this like a Chris Isaac, like Wicked Games type song? So yeah,
I'm okay with On the Strip. It's like I don't love it, but I do like it more than most either songs.
I just question like where it's placed on the album is all.
It's not. I guess that's probably not the most coherent sequencing with it there, but I don't mind it so much because I also don't. So circling back, Nick Fit. It's a cover, but it sounds like it was taken out of 1981. It's like their most convincingly executed punk song, even though it's a cover. So it has an interesting production to it. It already kind of stands out for that. On the Strip is this long kind of drawn out thing, a lot of dicking around in it, but it's still very, very pretty. Following that is Chapel Hill. I don't know why I like it, but I do like it. I don't love the verses and choruses so much, but it's also like, it's like what every 90s college student heard the moment they woke up from life. It's like, it's so on the nose of like 90s college, but it's fun.
I disagree. I think they're doing some like cool shit on there. Like they have these chill guitar riffs that are like very, to me, unique. And then when it gets to these fast parts, the riffs are almost like sped up Sabbath riffs. So I just thought it was like pretty interesting and unique.
Well, the intro riffs are like the most college rock shit in the planet. The verses and choruses go into a little bit different territory that I'm not too big on, but as it goes on, there's some very fun moments.
I felt like their most like college rock, like it got a little too close for REM for me, was Wish Fulfillment.
That's the only other song I like on the album. Yeah. It's the only one that I can actually stomach. It's another Lee song.
Mm-hmm.
It is a little overtly emotional, but the loud sections I think they kind of rule. They hit pretty hard.
You're probably gonna hate it. You probably brought it up in your rant, but yeah, I don't know. I like Sugarcane. I like how dark and groovy it is. The main course is like surprisingly uplifting, and then you get the Sonic Youth big wall of explosion and noise and stuff.
I don't mind the intro. There's a really kind of solid emotional intro to that one, and the choruses I don't mind the choruses. There's a section around 430 that I like as well, that more arpeggiated guitar stuff, but it's more like just forgettable to me. It's more like it just kind of comes and goes. I don't really hate it so much. One that I don't. So it comes back to Kim's vocals, but it's not just her. It's the letdown of Swimsuit Issue, because goddamn, the fuzz tones on that song are so goddamn good. The intro is so goddamn good, but man, the chorus, like it just feels like the song just fell over it, like it tripped over itself. Like the riff suddenly just did nothing, and then Kim is doing her fucking snarly thing, and it just feels really forced. And it's toward the end, it kind of slows down and gets a little heavier. It's fine, but it's like one of those on the edge songs where it's like, man, I really like what it does well, but the stuff it doesn't do well is just baffling to me.
I just think it's a heavy and weird song. They don't really venture into heavy too much, so I don't know. Again, I think Kim's just being like nasty and grimy on this album, and it fucking works for me.
It doesn't for me because I don't believe her, and that's the thing. Like I like when people sound like shit. I tend to really like people that sound like shit. Weirdly, I don't believe her. On Shoot, I fucking hate her. She feels like a blight on the band at this point. It seems like, I'm going to go into the studio and I'm going to sing snarly now. It just, because we got all these albums of, this is what she does. It's not that she's not allowed to try new things. It just feels so like I need to do something different now. It doesn't feel like, it feels like such a jump, because what I said on Goo was like her best vocal performance. On Cool Thing, she's doing something subtle, something not moving too much one way or the other. It's kind of playing within her range. She's not really, you tell that's just her. It's like, I'm going to try to do a Courtney Love thing. And I already don't like Courtney Love. So having someone who also can't sing do a Courtney Love, it's just, fuck. That's rough for me. But even then, the songs, I don't like the song Shoot. I mean, get rid of Kim, fine. I don't like the song either.
I love these like sexy, sleazy songs.
Sexy, he says. He says sexy they are.
Shoot is like a song you like drunken people have sex to.
That's not good sex, Alex. That's not sexy. That's sexful.
I didn't say it was good. I said it was drunken. Yeah, it's like oddly this in the front half of the album, and then the second half is almost something like it is really Kim front loaded, but I'm like hearing you complain about these things, and I'm like, oh, this is odd.
How are you going to defend the closer, Creme Brulee? I mean, not only is Kim droning all over it like she does, whatever, fine. The two notes, the fucking major second interval that they always do it. I mean, just the same two fucking. Jesus Christ, man!
It's just a minimal little. Just a little dash.
Little dash at poo-poo, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, second or third best for me.
One of the most overrated albums of all time, worst least favorite. If we're not giving it, how do I list this? Are we including? Are we just not? Were we giving it a pass? What are we doing?
I say, yeah, I think it's more fun to not include the Whitey album in our picks. I think it's more fun. If
people just kind of glance at the show notes and see that we didn't give it worse, they'll be like, what? But we clarify.
Yeah. I also like wonder how many people consider it canon, but
I wonder that too. But it's also like it's also fun to talk about. It's part of the lore, especially with Mike Watt. And anytime we get to talk about Mike Watt, that's good.
No, I agree. I wanted to talk about it for sure.
So this is from Tom. This is so funny. I realize I'm in the minority here, but I'm dying on this hill. And you can go ahead and kill me because I will stand here. Tom says, I'll just add a very uncool comment here. Dirty has always been my favorite Sonic Youth record. It's probably partly because this was their first album for me, but it is as it is. I think Mark Prindle said this is their worst album. So there you go, polarizing. I do remember good old Mark Prindle from back in the day giving this like an abysmal score and not understanding because I hadn't heard it. And then I'm asking Robert about it, and Robert said he's like, hey, I didn't really like that album, but he didn't make a big deal out of it. He's like, because I think he still liked the band so much that he didn't want to shit on it. So I mean, I was ready to be like, people love this album. I don't think it's going to be like a piece of shit. And honestly, I don't think it's a piece of shit. I think it's just a standard run of the mill bad album. that's what I'm going to settle with that.
Damn. Dragging Sonic Youth and Butch Vig through the fucking mud.
Oh, this is Butch Vig?
It is Butch Vig, yeah.
It's well produced, it's definitely well produced.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show who I am. Yeah, I'm not a Sonic Youth man.
And besmirching, is that a word, besmirching?
Besmirching? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Ian Mackay as well. Guest guitars on Youth Against Fascism.
Oh, really?
And Creme Brulee.
And two horrible songs. Two bad songs. Great guy.
Sorry, my vision's fucked. The sentences ran together. Just Youth Against Fascism.
That makes way more sense.
Yeah.
What is this? Yeah, this is this is like early Fugazi days when this came out. Yeah. Interesting.
Perfect scores, A+.
Yeah, fucking crazy. I mean, absolutely crazy.
6 from Pitchfork, which is basically a perfect score.
Absolutely crazy. Yeah, and it just shows why I don't belong in this world when I'm like gushing about their first album that they made clearly by accident and why it's so great. And then the album that everyone loves, I'm like, this is a piece of crap. What am I going to do with this? I got nothing. I got nothing for you. Sorry. I mean, I got nothing for you. This is the way life is sometimes. Sometimes you find oddballs and you have to banish them, exile them, whatever.
It was a long day. It was a lot of podcasts. I realistically, not counting the Whitey album, like I didn't dislike any of these albums. I thought it was a fascinating listen. I think they're amazingly consistent band at this point. We'll see what happens when they get older, but
I'm worried. You're not as worried, but I'm fucking worried.
I'm not worried.
I'm so scared. But we made it through part 1.
Yeah,
But
I have bought in wholesale to the Church of Sonic Youth.
holy crap. But that concludes part 1. Let's do a recap before we wrap it up.
So for me, and really this, because it's just the beginning, I don't think it's a bad album. Confusion is Sex / Kill Your Idols. It's just early in the band's career. And then best personal favorite, Daydream Nation. I felt like I haven't been this enamored by an album in a good bit. So at least, through the podcast, listening to a full discography, I'm so happy it lived up to all my expectations and then some.
Holy crap, hell yeah. And for me, contrary to Alex's pick, Confusion is Sex and Kill Your Idols, best personal favorite. Their most gritty, brutal, interesting, and I think gnarly album. And also with just the most, I don't know, the one that you can't really put anywhere. That's not why I like it. I just like the songs, but it's also the only album that you can't put anywhere. And if we're not counting the Whitey album, Dirty, baby, Worsley's favorite, because Jesus Christ, I don't get it. Whatever, you can go ahead and throw me on a stake, but I'm gonna go ahead and stick with that. But that does it. Holy crap! Thanks for watching and listening and hanging out. Everyone who still did, and if you were a previous fan of ours and you no longer are because of me, I understand. Goodbye. But yeah, you can. In any case, you can follow me on all social media at PandaMonkey, Alex on Bluesky at
Octatron 3030,
and our history guy Tom Osman at Tom Osman Sounds, and his website for his music, TomOsmanSounds.com, and his podcast, Whatever Comes Next. Links to all that in the description. Link to my EP in the description if you want to shit on that. You can go ahead and do that. And most importantly, Patreon, baby. Patreon.com/everyalbumever. You get bonus episodes. You get to see our schedules in advance. You get to be a part of the community on our Discord. Talk some shit. Talk some shop. Request new albums for us to cover that came out this year. If you're tier 2, you can suggest any album from anywhere and we'll do bonus episodes on it. It's very fun stuff. Go there, please, and thank you. And that about does it. Hell yeah. So thank you, Alex. This is a very tough one. I think it's time we go to bed.
Yes. I've haven't wanted sleep this bad in a while.
Yes. So thank you so much for listening and watching. See ya.